Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got a YouTube video for you guys today. A YouTube video on this channel. Wow. It's been like a few weeks, right? Yeah, I feel like I have a lot of explaining to do because so far 2023 hasn't really been all that great regarding this YouTube channel. It kind of feels like it's just become a place where community posts happen every day announcing a Twitch stream, right? That's pretty much it. And I want to really make use of this video to clarify, you know, why I've just been so inconsistent, so absent throughout this year. As a lot of you know, I was pretty much on a hiatus for the majority of January, and then we got back with the daily uploads, and yeah, we were consistent for a while, but then it kind of dropped off. Regular uploads became more or less regular, rather. And eventually we reached the point in which just uploads are not happening, right? And you're probably wondering what the hell is happening, because we are being consistent on Twitch. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you are thinking at this point that I've just given up on YouTube and I'm focusing on Twitch instead. And there's a lot that I want to say, but I also don't want to make this video incredibly long because it can be quite a drag because there's a lot of things that I want to talk about. So I'm going to try to be as straight to the point, more concise and straight to the point, no bullshit, no rambling, than I've ever been. I will fail dramatically at this, but I will try, because this video is very important. It's not a coincidence. I'm getting comfortable here though, because you know I'm having a chat with you. Like, this video is not scripted. Probably should be. It would make it more efficient. But you know me, I like it raw. I like it just being a real talk, and I'm also kind of lazy. So we're going with this plan, all right? But like I said, I have to explain myself a little bit, and also there's a reason why this video is going up today, because TLDR, uploads will return tomorrow onwards, but this channel is going to be different from what it has been up until now. And you know, I'm going to clarify that too. First of all, why have I not been posting so regularly? What's happening? Like, why am I lacking the motivation to keep daily content flowing? It's my job, right? Like, it shouldn't be that hard to have a video taking footage from the stream and having an upload going every day besides the stream, right? Other people do it. Why can't you? It's a very good point, honestly. Hard to refute, but basically, I've been struggling a lot with motivation regarding Marvel Snap, which is the game that I've been covering here, as most of you know. I uploaded a video at the end of last year announcing that I was going to be focusing on Marvel Snap content because I was demotivated, disillusioned, and just wasn't really feeling it with Legends of Runeterra after covering it for over 3 years. I kind of essentially burnt out. The combination of burnout plus the fact that, through my perspective, I felt like the design direction of the game had gone downhill. Not implying that every new content introduced was worse or anything like that, but basically, as the card pool expanded, I just didn't really like the metagames that were happening from a certain point onwards, and I just felt more and more disillusioned with the game personally, just because of my own personal preference as well, amongst many other things. But as you guys know, it's a combination of several different factors, but mainly it's just the fact that I feel like the game had been getting worse over time, and that wasn't the only one with this opinion, right? And that is because of the card pool expanding, the new expansions, and the fact that regions didn't really feel like they had that much of an identity anymore. And because of the card pool expanding so much, power creep was becoming more and more prevalent, because in order to introduce new content onto the game, you had to essentially make it so that those cards introduced would be a little bit better than everything else, so that way people could play them with success and actually would be inclined to play them because they were good, right? Which is something that happens in pretty much every card game, and it's an issue that all card games eventually face. and it's something that I feel wasn't being properly handled, right? So I decided to just stop covering Legend of Runeterra because I wasn't nearly as passionate about it anymore. And I transitioned to Marvel Snap, which is this game that just absolutely reignited my passion for streaming. I hadn't been a regular streamer for a long time, especially because with Legend of Runeterra, I focused mainly on making YouTube videos, right? And I barely ever streamed. I wasn't really a streamer. But then I got back into it with Marvel Snap because I felt it's a game that in which it was more well built for streaming because games are fast, dynamic, and very chaotic as well. And it's a very fun game to watch live, and I've absolutely adored streaming it. I've created this, or created is not the word, but I've cultivated. I don't even know. I basically this nice community of degenerates in which we just banter all day and just goof around and have a good time at each other's expense. Totally not toxic at all. I just love it, man. I have a great time. I look forward to streaming. I actually, butt heads sometimes with my fiance because I stream too much. So that's how much I enjoy it. And that's where most of my focus has been now. The reason why I haven't been uploading regularly is because after that shift into Marvel Snap, I have run into issues. It hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. As a lot of you know by this point, Marvel Snap is a very hostile game towards content creators. I'm not talking about the developers from Second Dinner. I keep saying Shadow Dinner in my head. I don't know why. But yeah, they're lovely. They interact with the content creators pretty regularly on social media, and they're very supportive and all that. And they're great in that sense. The problem is the monetization model behind the game. The card acquisition system is inherently flawed. It is inherently very, very, very greedy. And I've been told that it is the norm for mobile gacha games. I'm not really that well versed in that specific area personally, but I would like to believe that that shouldn't be the case because it's really hard to get excited about a new card in Marvel Snap when all of them are being introduced into Series 5 and you effectively have to spend over 100 euros to get that card earlier. Elsewise, you won't see that card until like 3 to 6 months later, right? So a new card comes out and the vast majority of people don't really care all that much, right? I can upload content on that, and actually that's what I should be doing. Uploading a video on that card as early as possible. That's kind of like how the content creation game works, right? But I was in this sort of, I felt myself in this conundrum because I was kind of rushed to do this in a game that I was forced to spend a lot of money to get the card. But then it wasn't really even satisfying because I knew that the deck that I posted, 99.99% of the people watching would not be able to craft it. So I just had very little motivation to keep the uploads regular for Marvel Snap. And also because I would have to upload several videos of the same deck, which is I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I just didn't feel like, I wasn't feeling very proud of my craft in that regard. And I feel like the moment I had to take it daily was the moment, the content would just overall lose quality, and I just wasn't really happy with it. With it, really, I just don't really feel motivated. It's difficult to keep posting videos on a game when you're more limited to the amount of decks you can brew because the card pool is smaller, the deck size is smaller, and some synergies are more rigid, right? There's just a lot of more limitations comparing it to a game like Legend of Runeterra from a brewing perspective, even though deck building is very nuanced and very deep in Marvel Snap, more so than a lot of people think. But still, there are limitations, and this combined with the fact that it just takes forever to get a new card is it makes the experience quite stagnant, right? I felt like no matter how I approached it, I always ended up losing motivation with the daily Marvel Snap uploads. I wasn't happy about the videos, and I just, you know, when I lose motivation, it's hard for me to really get it going. I know I'm supposed to be professional about it and all that, but I just don't believe in. I don't believe in pushing out content for the sake of pushing out content. I know that's what YouTube wants me to do. You know, I've been abiding by our Lord and Savior YouTube for quite a few years now. You know, that's how I've paid the bills. So I know how things work. But it can be frustrating to be limited to like and have to post this content just regularly all the time, just shit out these videos, even though the game doesn't really provide you with the ability to produce proper content in that regard, at least not the kind that I like to make, right? I'm not taking away from other creators for Marvel Snap because I think there's a lot of great YouTubers for it, but it's just not something that I've enjoyed anywhere near as much as I did with Legends of Runeterra. Which brings us at this point, right? I've gone in circles. I've, as you guys, for those of you who follow me for a long time, you know that I've covered many different games. I just love playing card games. And lately I've just been thinking a lot about the fact that I've been abiding to this system. I've been abiding to this algorithm. I've been submitting to it for so long that I think it's time to challenge that system. I think it's time for me to try to take the next step and not tie myself down to one specific game. In fact, I'm a guy who enjoys card games. Like, I'm just a card game addict, effectively. I found a way to monetize my addiction. That's the story of my life. So I want to share that passion with you guys more. I want to bring back the regular videos, but I want to do so in a way that I can feel proud of what I'm making. And I play what I really feel like playing. And this brings us to, you know, the return arc, or chapter 2 of this video, I guess, because we're going to talk about our return to Legends of Runeterra. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Marvel Snap. I still love streaming it. But, I mean, we've had a bit of a stale meta for a while, and card acquisition is so slow that I don't feel it's the kind of game that I need to be covering on a regular basis. I feel like I can always catch up to Marvel Snap. It doesn't take that long, really, to really get up to speed with the new meta and the new cards, what they do and such, because it goes at a slower pace. And I want to be more flexible, and this announcement really has just changed everything for me. All of the issues that I spoke about with Legends of Runeterra, like the issues that I've had personally, have been pretty much countered, my mic here, by this announcement right here. Rotation. I don't want to ramble too long about rotation. I kind of figured I could do a video on this alone. Like I said, I don't want this video to be super long, but there's a lot of things that I need to explain here. First of all, what is rotation? Rotation means that they are introducing two formats or two ways of playing the game when it comes to PvP, right? That is Eternal and Standard. Eternal is the format in which the entire card pool is legal. You can build a deck out of every single card that is, you know, exists in Legends of Runeterra. Standard is different. Eternal is limited to casual play. Standard is the format which ranked will revolve around. Standard is the format in which tournaments will happen, or for like the format tournaments will play in English. Standard is the official way to play Legends of Runeterra. Standard is the format in which not every card in the card pool is legal. In fact, only the cards that have not rotated out of Standard are legal. What are the cards that rotated out of Standard? A few. You can see Bandle City here. Look at all this. Look at Bilgewater, Demacia, Freljord. We got Ionia. We got Noxus, Piltover, Shadow Isles, and Shurima. I thought we were done. And Targon. Look at this insane list of cards, including champions, followers, spells, and landmarks that have rotated out of Legends of Runeterra Standard as of March 29th, 2023. This is a massive change, and one that has been very polarized, or very polarizing, regarding the community, right? Reddit, you know that meme, right? With Donald Glover, aka Troy, walking into the apartment with the pizza and the apartment just being on fire, you know, from Community. Like that, Reddit is literally that. It is that meme incarnate. They just have lost their minds over this phenomenon, and the main reason is because they don't like the fact that they cannot play some of their favorite champions again in ranked. You know, I'm not implying that they have no reason to be upset. Like, I get it, but overall, a lot of these complaints are very short-sighted. Not all of them. There are people who criticize the cards that were rotated, the tremendous size of cards, like the list being so big, right? Like, there's a lot of different critiques. I'm not putting them all in the same basket, but a good portion of them just want to be able to play any card that they have, and they are being short-sighted. I would argue the majority of them are being short-sighted because ultimately rotation is essential in order for this game to survive in the long term. And it is a decision that the developers of Legends of Runeterra made in order for this game to thrive in the future, for this game to have a long life. And I love it. Why do I love it? Why do I love the fact that there are less cards in the game now? How could I possibly get behind that? Well, it's actually very simple. As you downsize the card pool, you downsize the overall power level in the game. This means that there are less staples running around, and there are less things that essentially make it so that the meta revolves around them. Cards like pings such as Go Hard, Pokey Stick, Vile Feast, Withering Wail, there were more and more of them within the card pool, and we led to a point in which having 1 health units that were not 1-drops was pretty much a liability in most metas. And that is something that has been toned down considerably. Ravenous Flock, the most powerful spell within Noxus, arguably at least low cost, incredibly meta defining, has been rotated out, which takes away Noxus's ability to be so damn faceted, you know, like just the ability to do a bunch of different things, right? They've also taken direct damage, such as Decimate, and a very strong 1-drop in Legion Rearguard from Noxus, shifting it from a pure face faction or region to a region that can be very aggressive, but has to do through combining several different cards, and in a way in which sequencing is more key and therefore more skill intensive. I could go on and on about the impact that removing a bunch of cards has had over the game, but overall what feels like has happened, or the sensation that you get when you play Legends of Runeterra, if you're a player that has played for all these years and you go back to it now, is that it's like a brand new fresh start. We are back at rising tides, baby. It is square one, and it feels amazing. There's so much to be discovered, especially now that certain cards that were overshadowed in the past no longer are, and there's just, it just feels great to play the game where the power level has dropped. And the reason why reducing the power level in this card game is very, very important is because introducing new content onto the game no longer requires the developers to power creep in order to make the cards viable. Because as the bigger the card pool is, the difficult it is to introduce more cards that will be relevant, right? You have to make them stronger on purpose than everything else, and that makes it so that everything that you're adding onto the game is stronger and stronger, and that you can be led into a mess like, for example, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, right? Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a ban list instead of a rotation system, but essentially every time they introduce a new expansion or whatever, it's just strictly stronger than everything else. Yeah, I mean, it's not that simple, right? But it pretty much comes down to that. And with this game, it has felt amazing because they didn't take out random cards. There's been so much thought behind what cards get rotated and what's out. It's not all the good cards, by the way, because you're wondering. Also, a lot of underplayed cards as well have been gone, so they can open room for redesigning support for certain champions whose support package wasn't really too successful, like Kennen, for instance. And it just opens up a lot of possibilities moving forward. It is absolutely the best thing that could have happened to this game, and I am over the moon with it. I am just in love, absolutely in love with Legends of Runeterra. It just feels like I'm back at the very beginning, and it has been absolutely amazing. That is obviously the combination of rotation with the fact that I have taken a long break, right? I'm not undermining the impact of that as well. It's the combination of all those things, but that really has allowed me to just dive back into it and remind myself why this is, out of all my card game relationships, this is the one that has lasted the long by far. And it is because it allows me to really just let my creativity go at its fullest when it comes to deck building. Like, there's no other card game that has allowed me to do it like Legends of Runeterra has. And I'm on cloud 9, man. I have been loving it. I've already made a bunch of spicy decks, and I'm only getting started. And I will be focusing on Legends of Runeterra a lot for the foreseeable future. You know I said what I said a bunch of months back, but I'm also not tying myself down to anything anymore because I want to upload other stuff too. I want to keep doing Marvel Snap as well, and I want to post some Duelist content too. This is the whole point. By the way, we can take a look at, in case you haven't seen, the rotation for the champions are visually represented here in case you need a visual reference. Look at all these champions being rotated out. I think I can do a video in which I properly analyze this rotation. I think that'll be for a different video because otherwise it's going to be extremely long. It'll be like a podcast. But let me know if you guys would like a video like that in which I break down rotation and I go deep into why everything that has happened and why every card rotating out, what's the potential reasoning for it, and what I think about it personally, right? Like, I could do a video like that, but I am not gonna go down that hole in this video because then we're just not getting out. We'll be here for hours, right? But the TLDR is rotation has been life-saving for Legends of Runeterra. It means that the developers believe in a future and are willing to start fresh, and it is just absolutely so exciting. It is just insanely exciting, and I have been absolutely loving it. I've been streaming it for these last few days. I've been getting more and more hooked, and I just can't wait to bring back that content. I really hope you guys are excited for Legends of Runeterra videos, but I hope you guys are excited for card game videos in general. Right now, Legends of Runeterra, Marvel Snap, and Duelists are the ones that really just have all my attention. You can expect for the recent future, like for this week onwards, the focus will shift more so to Legends of Runeterra because that's really where I'm at right now. But that can change over time. I'm not tying myself down to anything. I'm not making any empty promises, nothing like that. I'm just going to make sure that the content keeps rolling and that I share you guys the games that I love and why I'm so passionate about them, and at the same time trying to produce the best quality content that I can. And I'm just really, really excited for this new chapter, right? Like, you could call it Variety Card Gamer. We could go with that. Because it's not like I'm just doing all sorts of different games. I'm focusing on the card game genre. But I've been wanting to take this approach for a long time. It just feels right. It's the moment to do it, and that is how things are going to be. So, yeah, it feels really, really good to be back, though. Like I said, there's a reason why I played this game longer than any other, and I am just so happy they went with this decision instead of just letting it keep going the way it was. It's just It's just amazing. And I think I'm going in circles at this point. We've been at it for 25 minutes. But that's the gist of it. Basically, you can expect the streams are still going to be happening. I'm going to be prioritizing the Twitch streams, like making sure that those are regular. But I will also be uploading daily, and I will mix it up. You know, I can upload a bunch of Legend of Runeterra videos, and then upload a Duelist video here and there. I can upload some Marvel Snap content as well, and we'll be mixing it up between those three for the time being. And maybe in the future, if new card games arise that I become really crazy about, then we can showcase that too. And that's how things will be. So let me know what you guys think about this plan. And I'm gonna stop rambling, but I feel really hyped. You know, I haven't felt hyped about YouTube content for a while, and it's the right thing to do. It's what will work long term, and it's also a great way for me to prevent from just being absolutely burnt out, right? By forcing myself to always do the same thing. So yeah, there's a reason why I haven't done this in the past. Like, the algorithm will give me problems, I assume, but we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Like, I haven't actually tried this before, so fuck it, we'll do it. And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little talk. Let me know what you guys think about the plan moving forward, and any sort of questions, anything you have, like whatever you want to tell me, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll look into every single comment, and I just want to say that I appreciate you guys, all the support and everything. It's felt amazing, and yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time when we make this channel great again. Dick Red Jam. What a way to end the video. So yeah, love ya. Have a solid day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.